Now, welcome to the final video. In part 2, we define your Ehi as your unique divine story. Now, we do the most important work. We stop reflecting and start building. So in case you have not seen the first video in this series, I encourage you to do so because that is actually where we lay the foundation of this entire series. If you have seen the source material from where this 3 video was extracted from, my #1 ranking article on Eastern spirituality, you see that I touch on a lot of things. Of course, the article is quite lengthy. It's over 5,000 words article. I didn't imagine that it was going to be like that. I just wanted to express a few things about the Eastern spirituality, looking at it from the point of view of Ehi. So I remember I talked about Agba, the energy of Uromi. He was a great warrior, but he's remembered because his story was forged into a legacy. The people of Uromi deify him. They turn his story into rituals, history, and guided principle. They turn his story into an asset for their entire culture. This is our blueprint. A story that is only told can easily be forgotten, but a story that is built into something, into a framework, become a legacy for generations to come. And that is what this video is going to be about. You'll be able to take your story, your founder's story, that wound that you have that led you to starting your business, that you will be the one to provide a solution because you felt it inside, or you feel the wound, or you have the intuition, you have the vision, whatever is it that led to the spark. While you are the one providing this solution, that story cannot be left there just the way it is. It needs to be taken and transformed into a legacy. Because children and children that are going to come need to learn about it, need to learn why you decide to create this story. You see, one of the problems that many generational businesses have is a problem of transmitting the story into the generation that is going to come, which is why it has been reported that by the time it got to 3rd, 4th generation, the children basically ignore whatever is it that will be your struggle because it doesn't make sense to them anymore. Well, it doesn't make sense to them because nobody have immortalized those experiences for them. Nobody have explained to them the way it really should make sense to them because people don't protect what they don't understand. So if you wanted to treasure your experiences, if you wanted to treat it with respect, to hold it, to value it, to see it as really treasure, then you need to immortalize it, transform it into a legacy. The story to asset framework is entirely built upon this concept. You'll be able to take your story and transform it into a tangible asset that you can use to either market your business, being able to reach a new client, pass your message down to generation that is going to come because you have taken the time to transform your narrative from just sharing it, from just talking to something that the people can hold. When they can hold it, then they can transfer it. If they cannot transfer it, they cannot hold it as a concrete asset, then of course that story is even at the risk of being misunderstood because if it is just a question of narrating and narrating, by the time it got to the 4th and 5th people that are narrating the same story, they might end up oversaturated with elements that you might not necessarily need because now people are going to be adding their opinion and their feeling and their sentiment into it, and that may change the original story. But if you want the story to remain, if you want people to really understand what is the true motivation behind your business, why you decide to found this business or why this business exists, you need to transform your story into an asset that they can hold. Because when they have that asset in their hand, it's almost impossible for them to mistake it for something else. That is what the story to asset framework is actually created for. For founders and business owners over 20, over 30, or over 15, you want to be able to take that experience that you have gathered over the years and transform it into an asset for the generation that is going to come. We're talking about Legacy Signature Program, where you can scale your genius. We help you to write your legacy book to become the undeniable authority in your industry. Because one thing is to know your story. Another thing is to have it in a way that people can see it with your picture, with the people that you have met along the way. It's not complicated. All you just need is to be intentional about preserving your story to the next generation. We can also produce a legacy film that immortalizes your story through a series of interviews. We can collect the material that your business have had over the years and transform it into a narrative, visual, that you can hold in your house, in your business, in your family to during a reunion or during family meeting or during business meeting, something unique to immortalize your experience, carrying your story, carrying your narrative. The purpose of all of this is so that you can escape, be just a commodity, be just another Joe in the market, because there are many people out there. There are over 5 billion people on the internet. There is nothing that you want to think of, no idea you want to think of that doesn't exist in one form or another out there. But your story is always unique. Your Ehi is unique to you. Your guardian angel is unique to you. Your identity is unique to you. So if you want to be able to transform this your uniqueness into the next generation, you need to be intentional about it. You need to go beyond just talking about it. You need to transform it into an asset that you can hold. That is where all the assets that I've made mention of come into play. So learn how to use your story, and let's help you to transform it into the most valuable asset that you can use in your business. I remain Obehi Ewanfoh, and I'm looking forward to talk to you.